Who's ready to rumble? Woo! Thanks for being here. Hi, Adeline. All right, guys, go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. The ivory trade has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. The ivory trade has got to go. Hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ivory's what they're dying for. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop the trade. It's not too late. Die. They don't die. Stop the ivory trade. Stop the trade. It's not too late. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ivory's what they're dying for. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop the trade. It's not a trinket, not a trophy. Ivory on an elephant only. Not a trinket, not a trophy. Ivory on an elephant only. Thanks, please. Not a trinket, not a trophy. Ivory on an elephant only. Not a trinket, not a trophy. Ivory not extinction. E is for elephant, not extinction. E is for elephant, not extinction. E is for elephant, not extinction. D.C. Ivory free. D.C. There's no excuse for the ivory trade. There's no. An elephant only, not a trinket, not a trophy. Ivory on an elephant only. Not a trinket, not a trophy. Ivory on an elephant only. They got it 3 years. That spells extinction. Ban the ivory trade, USA. Do you want to live in a world without elephants? Do you want to live in a world without elephants? No. Do you live in a world without elephants? No. Do you want to live in a world without elephants? No. Do you want to live in a world? Do we? No. There, honey, get in front of the banner. We are marching here today so elephants can live another day. We are marching here today so elephants can live another day. We are a trinket, not a trophy. Ivory only, elephant only. No one else is every 15 minutes. Say no to ivory. No excuse for the ivory trade. There is no excuse for the ivory trade. There is no excuse for the ivory trade. There's no excuse for the ivory trade. There's no excuse for the ivory trade. There's no excuse for the ivory trade. Elephant is killed every 15 minutes. How often? One every 15 minutes. There is no excuse for the ivory trade. New Jersey is the only state in the country to ban all ivory sales. We want ivory free D.C. Ivory free D.C. Ivory free D.C. Ivory free. Oh. Woo! And he came to give remarks. Let's listen to him. You're fantastic.
Comrades, nature lovers, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to all of you for joining us to celebrate this day, which is dedicated to the largest mammal to roam the land, the elephant. The escalation of poaching, habitat loss, human-elephant conflict, and mistreatment in captivity are just some of the threats to both African and Asian elephants. Working towards better protection for wild elephants, improving enforcement policies to prevent illegal poaching and trade of ivory, conserving elephant habitats, better treatment for captive elephants, and when appropriate, reintroducing captive elephants into natural, protected sanctuaries are the goals that numerous elephant conservation organizations are focusing on around the world. However, of all these challenges, the illegal trade in elephants' ivory tusks is the main threat to their existence worldwide and particularly in Africa. Poaching remains a chronic, significant problem in parts of Africa, especially where wildlife management authorities are still underfunded. As much as there has been tremendous recognition of the illicit poaching of wildlife, and particularly elephants in Africa, the question remains, are we doing enough to stop this?
No! We're not doing enough!
Our opinion is that natural heritage needs as much protection as other natural resources, such as mining, gas and oil. Talking and spreading the word is good, but also taking proactive measures and acting upon them is even better. We applaud the numerous efforts made by various organizations across the world, and particularly here in the United States, in order to curb the trade and illicit trafficking of ivory and other animal body parts. Events such as the recent ivory crash in the New York City Central Zoo by the New York State Environmental Department are to be commended. We equally celebrate the same initiative by other states and countries around the world. However, while you are doing this wonderful part on this end of the world, we would like to bring to your attention the plight of the foot soldiers, the park rangers on the ground, endangering their lives while protecting these beautiful creatures.
Let's hear it for the Rangers!
And seemingly we are losing the battles every day, but we shall not give up. With a country like mine, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, losing between 200 and 300 park rangers every year at the hands of poachers, there is no doubt that the time to act is now. Just 2 weeks ago, 5 of my colleagues were brutally murdered by poachers near the Okapi Reserve in Epulo while trying to save an American journalist who had been held hostage. The journalist has been identified as Lisa Dupoy, but so far none of the rangers was named nor identified in any of the press releases. They are just part of the statistics, I guess. And as we speak, I am sure
no names.
Their families are facing a gloomy and uncertain future, as most of our park rangers have no life insurance cover. This incident was not an isolated case in African nature conservation fraternity. Many cases such as this one go under radar, unreported, or just not given any attention at all. In 2010, a Zambian female ranger, Esnat Paundi, was brutally killed after arresting 2 bushmeat poachers. From nowhere, a third poacher appeared from the bush and smashed her head repeatedly, even though she was trying to run for dear life. She left 4 orphans behind. What did she die for at such a tender age of 38? She wanted our animals to be protected so the young ones could come and see elephants and other animals. She wanted young people to see our natural resources in their natural habitat. She wanted to stop the trade in game meat, otherwise known as bush meat, and this is where she found her death. We are dealing with an enemy that has no rules and respects none. While the rangers are expected to fight to first attempt arrest and can only shoot once they are shot at, the poachers are in control of time and place, because you never know how and when they will come. Motivated by greed, the poachers have become even more sophisticated. They use modern technology such as night vision, helicopters, and other military tactical ingenuity in order to carry out their dirty work. Most poachers are well-trained former soldiers and insurgents with better weapons and with vast knowledge of the parks, at times even better than the park rangers. More than 80% of rangers in Africa have faced a life-threatening situation, either from a poacher or an animal attack, or both. At least 80% of African park rangers have no formal training of their job and receive very little or nothing from government. This continues to put them at risk and at the mercy of the poachers, who may even try to recruit them for a better remuneration. When and if rangers are taken care of and they are well trained and equipped, their morale is strong and their spirit is high, hence doing a better job and fearlessly confronting anything endangering the well-being of wildlife. As we recently celebrated the World Park Ranger Day, in the Congo, the total number of rangers killed in the line of duty this year currently stands at 108.
Too many!
As we gather here, the war is still going on the other side of the seas. Generally, the crisis is known as poaching, but to us it's sheer terrorism. Bandits from various international criminal syndicates have taken control of our national parks and have found in them a safe haven for criminal activities. They carry out illegal mining, illegal logging, illicit trade of arms and ammunition, kidnapping, forced prostitution, child labor, and so on. This is weighing heavy on our general well-being, our country's sovereignty, security, and it has occasioned higher rates of food insecurity. diseases, mass displacement of populations, and extreme poverty. Comrades and lovers of nature, we have to combine our efforts if we are to win this war. I challenge each and every one here today to spare a thought for all the fallen souls on the front lines, protecting our wildlife and elephants particularly. Spare them a thought of love, respect, dignity, and honor. We shall not do that after they would have fallen. We need to do that while they are still of use to us and the entire humanity.
Yes.
Let's empower and support our park rangers. Let's uplift local communities. Let's continue to educate masses on conservation's values, and let's say no to poaching. You can view our work. We are called Conserv Congo, and we particularly work in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. We are totally against poaching, and we do that by empowering park rangers through specialized trainings, and we equip them logistically so that they can be able to do their work effectively. You can view it on www.conserv, that is conserve without an E, conservcongo.wordpress.com.
And Elephant DC will be sharing.
www.conservcongo.wordpress.com.
Let's go to the park!
Support the heroes!
Thank you.
It's not a trophy. Ivory on an elephant only.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Elephant only.
Not a trinket, not a trophy.
Ivory on an elephant only.
Not a trinket, not a trophy.
Only. Not a trophy.
Ivory on an elephant only, not a trinket, not a trophy. Ivory on an elephant only.
But it's not really a celebration because elephants face extinction. President Obama and the United Nations announced last year elephants are being killed, they're being poached faster than they are giving birth. We call for a total end of all ivory trade at home and worldwide now. We want to thank the Metropolitan Police for our escort. We want to thank the New York Department of Environmental Commission for busting ivory traders and crushing ivory. But it's World Elephant Day, and even though we love the species, they are family-oriented. They're the largest land mammal on the planet. Matriarchal herds, family-oriented, intelligent, but they are dying. Since we've been marching, elephants have been poached. So we're going to have
of stepping onto landmines. I've seen elephants with legs blown off from this. So what Lek has done is she rescues elephants and she gives them a place to live out their golden years. I've seen elephants who are so psychologically and physically damaged that they don't want to have any interaction. They come to the park, they're given freedom, they're given a river to bathe in, they're given fresh food, in some cases specially prepared dishes for some of the elder elephants who are losing their teeth. If you go as a volunteer, you can participate in that, and it's like magic. Woo! So support Save Elephant Foundation.
You are from Pennsylvania. Tell us your name and why you were here, and anything about Ivory Free DC. You have prepared remarks.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So my name is Juliana Held. I live in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. I'm 16 years old and an incoming 11th grader at Emmaus High School. I would like to thank you for inviting me to speak on behalf of the elephants, and I'm representing the future generations of advocates who want to save and protect the elephants from extinction. Elephants have inspired me to research more and learn more about them. This inspiration has pushed me to take action and speak up for the elephants, because if no one speaks up for them, who will? They can't speak for themselves. In schools today, when learning the alphabet, the letter E is associated with the word elephant. We don't want children to grow up and learn that E is for extinction instead. Some people don't really pay attention to the problem because they're so far away to know that it exists, and we have the power to stop the demand for ivory and put the value to the elephants, not the object. Elephants are just like people. They're social and their mothers care passionately about their calves. Killing a mother for ivory is just taking away that mother from their children. Because the elephant pregnancy is 22 months, the poaching rate is beating the reproduction rate, which will cause elephants to become extinct faster than you actually think. If the elephants were extinct, it would impact the entire ecosystem because they are a keystone species. Killing an elephant for ivory is inhumane and should not be allowed. In closing, in Pennsylvania, we are working on passing a bill to stop ivory sales. If you are a Pennsylvania resident, contact your state representative and urge them to support House Bill 248.
Yeah! Ivory free PA! Ivory free PA! Ivory free PA! Ivory free PA!
And brief remarks because we're going to be closing soon.
Yeah. Okay, I'm Patricia, and I'm representing Hike for Elephants. Last year I took off 6 months and I hiked the Appalachian Trail. And I did it to raise money and awareness of the poaching that's going on in Africa, and I sent all the money that I raised to organizations working on the ground in Africa to end poaching. And I'm going to be giving a talk next Sunday at Green Fair in Herndon about the hike and about elephants.
Good job!
One second. Let me get you live. Okay, just give me a minute, okay? I'll tell you what, it's going to be soon.
Okay, my name's Caroline Hopkins. I'm 23. I live here in D.C. I've loved elephants since I was Adelaide's age, little girl. My whole life I've collected them, but I always wondered, what power do I have to actually do something? As it turns out, there's something that everyone can do, even if you're not directly, working in that sphere. So the first thing you can do is get your fantucation. Just spread the word about how incredible this species are. I have a lot of facts on this sheet, such as the fact that elephants are the only other mammals other than humans that bury their dead. They can leave the gravesite of an elephant and come back to it years later, and they actually cry real tears the way that we would, visit a loved one's grave. They're really incredible, and as you know, have amazing memories. So just spread the word about how great they are. Say no to ivory. Obviously, no one here is going to be buying ivory, but it's a really big, important thing to encourage others not to do the same. A lot of people are, unfortunately a little bit ignorant and don't know what it takes to make ivory. They think that they can just chop them off and the elephant lives on happily. No, you have to kill an elephant to get ivory. Do your research if you plan to go out and visit elephants at conservation centers, because not all of them are legitimate. There's a lot of places that advertise themselves as elephant camps. And their website looks great, they're helping elephants, but you go out there and they have these tiny spaces and they're forcing them to do tricks and perform for you, and they're really trying to turn a profit off of it instead. So really, if you're gonna go, ecotourism is great only if it's a legitimate spot and they're rescuing these elephants from a previously worse situation. You can donate. You really want to make sure, again, that you're doing your research. If you're going to be donating to a cause, like you could go on elephantsdc.com or a bunch of other websites I have on this flyer that are, proven to be legitimate. But unfortunately, there are places that scam you. Contact Congress and Father Trump. People don't really realize this because they're focused on a lot of other things. Political drama and such, that a current bill underway for funding actually cuts the budget for protecting the wildlife and endangered species. So if you go on to awf.org, that's secure.awf.org, you can just put in your name and it signs a letter and sends it to the government. I've already done that. I think they're like half of the way toward the goal of how many they want. And last but not least, just stay informed. You can follow Elephants DC on social media.
And share your Instagram with us.
And my Instagram is fantastic_fants. That's fantastic with a PH_fants. For a while, I was just posting cute pictures of elephants, and just people were following because they love elephants. But then I realized if I'm going to have a big following, I need to find a way to turn this into something that's actually doing something.
And here you are!
Yes, here I am. From this point forward, I'm going to be posting, links to updates for, actual causes that are helping, like, for instance, the Ivory Crush in New York.
And that's a good point, because October 7th is the global marches!
Exactly. The global marches. So you can stay updated there.
the effort to ban ivory sales in Pennsylvania, and she has a few words. We will be back. We're marching October 7th, so please stay tuned. We're going to have a stage dignitary speakers as well. And now Ann Lewis has been working so hard to ban ivory sales in Pennsylvania. Let's give it to Ann.
Thank you, everybody. So thank you so much for coming today. It really means a lot. And thanks to Jen Samuel, certainly, for organizing today's event. So I'm Ann Lewis. I'm a Pennsylvania resident. I am working with Pennsylvania state representatives to get a bill passed, House Bill 248. I can't tell you how important it is to have state laws that complement the federal restrictions that are in place. As I kind of said, at the hearing that we had for our bill in Pennsylvania earlier this year, it's a three-pronged approach. The country of origin needs to step up and take action. The federal government in the U.S. needs to step up and take action, which they have. And then the states need to follow suit and take action. There are several states within the U.S. that have already passed bills. We have New Jersey, which is a complete ban. We have New York, we have California, Hawaii, Oregon, and Washington. I know the District of Columbia has introduced something. Pennsylvania is working on something. So it's really important we all kind of step up for future generations and kind of put our stake in the sand. We will not tolerate this any further. You know, the federal restrictions leave loopholes. Where the trade is unregulated. So that's why it's so important for individual states to close those loopholes. As we all know, we're all elephant advocates. We know the stats, we know the facts. New ivory is coming in, being smuggled in, it's being stained, and it's being sold openly and, you know, under the guise of antique ivory. So we need to close those loopholes. So I tell you to take action. Leave today, go back to whatever state you came from, reach out to your state representative. They're open to meeting with you, your constituents. Your vote matters. So they want to hear matters that are important to you. So go back, talk to your state representatives, and that's the change we need to start moving forward with. Please reach out to me if you're a Pennsylvania resident. We need all the support we can get because unfortunately we have a lot of opposition within the state. NRA being one of them, but we're going to overcome it. We're going to get there, and I encourage you all to do the same. So thank you very much, and call your state representative.
We let America know in our humble way that there is no excuse for the ivory trade, and the United States should enact a total and complete ivory sales ban now with no exceptions. Law enforcement has said again and again and again, if there are exceptions for antique ivory, anyone could say this ivory is antique. Therefore, we must ban all ivory trade, ban it all. It wasn't right when there were 18 million elephants in 1800 in Africa. It wasn't okay, the ivory trade, in the 1900s when there were only 10 million elephants left. And it certainly is not okay in 2017 for the ivory trade to continue in America or elsewhere when there are less than 300,000 elephants or less in Africa, one poached every 15 minutes, 96 a day, killed faster than the birth rate. That spells extinction. Our children learn E is for elephant. Not extinction. Not extinction. So thank you. World Elephant Day. See you October 7th. And let's have our photo. Thank you. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy World Elephant Day! Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
I'll tell you what.
Go.
We love elephants.
Woo!
Right.
E is for
Elephants, not extinction.